Hello. I'll be honest with you. I didn't think I would have much at all to show you this week because all the time since the last video that I would normally have been spending doing doll stuff, I got into my scrap box and have started making patchwork. I have a little bit more that I'm going to put on this edge so it's not even remotely square. And then I'm going to start just putting sashing on the edge and build up into a full size blanket. Although, you know, there's a lot of definition of what a full size blanket is. So anyway, yeah, instead of doing doll stuff or sewing doll stuff or even thinking about doll stuff, basically since last time I made the video, I've been clearing out my scrap bin. Sort of. Actually, there's not a lot of difference in the volume of scraps in my scrap tub. The reason I did this is because it got to the point where I would put new scraps in and they would just sort of fall out the edge because there was no more room. So this has made a little bit of a difference, and it's actually, I'm getting to a challenge now finding big scraps because I make doll clothes. It's like a piece like this you could get a whole bodice out of, something this size. So what most people might consider a small piece of cloth, I can a lot of times use. And a lot of these I just went ahead and decided to use them for this instead of saving for doll cloth, because it's not like a lack for cloth to use for dolls. Especially since on Monday, well, I had to make a little run out to get something. It may have been a Cyber Monday deal with an online component. It may have been a leftover from the Black Friday weekend. It was something that the child wanted for Christmas, and we found it for a good price in Walmart, so I went there pretty early in the morning, and it was early enough that I was able to be at the thrift store in that direction when it opened. And you know, part of the reason I wasn't wanting to go to thrift stores in November and December is because of the crowds. Well, when you get to some place when it opens first thing in the morning on a day that's not a huge everybody go shopping day, especially doesn't have sales because it's a thrift store, they don't have sales. I'm wondering. Anyway, not a lot of people there. There were no dolls to be found there, but I did find some cloth. The most notable of which was a bag labeled material pieces, and it turned out to have about 20 fat quarters in it, plus other pieces and cuts. And fat quarters are great because they're usually good for doll clothes. Of course, you know me, I don't worry about the scale of a print for doll clothes. I just sew it, and either it looks like it's in scale or it looks like ridiculous doll clothes made out of something out of scale. It all works for me. But of those 20 pieces, I got a few that I really like. Of course, this you can never go wrong with, black and white polka dots for dolls, and this is a great doll scale. This is not the whole fat quarter, but it is more than enough for a 6-scale doll size dress. Hello, Chip. And again, this is also not the whole fat quarter, but I think this will work well for doll clothes. I don't know if I'm going to make this a dress or if this might be a fun shirt for one of the boy dolls. And then these are slightly coordinated. Again, glitter. You can't go wrong with glitter. And then the thing that actually sold me on the whole bag, and this is a straight up quarter yard and not a whole fat quarter. Anyways, it's not the entire quarter. Anyway, this. I think this will be great for a doll dress or 2 or 3. It's a good scale and good colors. And so, cloth. Now, I did start sewing before I got into the patchwork on Thursday morning, sometime last week. I had a Halloween themed t-shirt that the bottom stitching popped and was coming unraveled, and instead of trying to sew that back together, I decided I would just go ahead and cut it apart into, strategically cut the graphic on it into making doll shirts for, and super dollfy sized, 1/3 scale. So it's this, and this with a 3/4 length sleeve. Now these are not finished. None of them have fastenings in the back. I haven't decided if I want to do snaps or hook and loop tape. But considering these have been cut out and in pieces sitting over in my to-do area for a few weeks now, this is still more progress than there had been. So there's that. Back in the to-do pile. And I did get the green Allen back onto a body and dressed. And why isn't his head is on kind of loosely. If you've done much with Ken heads, you know that what actually holds these cut joint twist only Ken heads on is there's a hard piece of plastic in the bottom that is sort of glued to that neck piece. Oh, sometimes if you're careful you can wiggle the head out and the neck will flex apart at the seams just enough that you can get that plastic piece out. When I took this head off of the original body, it just cracked. Of course, there's the head that had been on this one. This body also cracked like that. That's what's rattling around inside him. But anyway, here he is. I made the shirt a long time ago. This does not have working buttons. I have made shirts with working buttons. This is just buttons sewn on top of hook and loop tape. And I tried making a new pair of jeans for him, but they turned out to be a little bit too small on the thighs because for whatever reason these gymnast kin bodies have huge thighs. Well, this was the Mycene. Yeah, the Mycene guys have more muscular legs, don't they? So I pulled these jeans off of another doll. Jens got the skinny jeans, and I posted pictures of everybody on Flickr. This is an action figure jacket. It was from a BMX bike figure from 12, 13 years ago. Anyway, I got lazy on when I sanded the seams on his hands, where I fused the hands to the articulation on the wrists, but still, he's done. He seems to be popular. There are people who say he looks like a great alien dad, and that's a fine description for him. So that's it for doll things I've done since last time. I did stop in a thrift store this morning because, again, I had errands to run, so I was able to get there fairly early. And cloth. I don't need cloth. And I'm trying to keep the cloth to a certain color range, pinks and purples and maybe greens for the kiddo. But I saw this and I knew it was a wax print as soon as I saw it hanging there. So I went over to look at it, and it is fantastic. And then I saw the selvage. And let's see, is it this edge or the other edge? Yes. The selvage says guaranteed Dutch wax, which means it is a genuine wax cloth, but it also says Vlisco, which, if you know anything about wax prints, Vlisco is like the #1 designer brand name for these things. So I could not resist this. It was $3, which for me is a splurge, but this is probably the only Vlisco cloth I will ever own, probably the only Vlisco cloth I will ever bumble into in a thrift store. And even though the colors aren't my usual colors, it's still pretty great. Also, in the thrift store, the only doll, I saw a Dora the Explorer interactive doll. Not my kind. But the only Barbie type doll was there at all is this mermaid. which I tried going on eBay to find her name. All I found were other ones who were out of the package and clothingless. This she was wearing this shirt when I found her. I'm assuming, since there is no painted on bikini or molded on bikini type top, and since she is flesh tone all the way down to the crotch area, I'm assuming that she originally had some sort of dress on. And she has that sculpt that is marked. I tried brushing her hair. Hold on. Throw that away. I tried brushing her hair a little bit already. It is still pretty floofy, but it's better than it was. The head is marked 2004, which means that she's probably Fairytopia, because this looks just like the summer sculpt, but there is a 2004 Fairytopia version of the summer sculpt that I am not sure what the difference is between this and summer, because they look the same. But she has a great hair color. And I have repainted probably this head. I don't remember the copyright date on it, but since she had aqua blue hair, she probably also was a Fairytopia doll. She's in my Flickr stream. She's called Aqua, so you can search for her there. And I repainted her and got her to look fairly snarky. So I will get this head on a different body and get a different head on this body and redonate it as one whole doll. I'll probably put a little dress on it too, so she's not completely naked. And I will add this head to my Customize Someday head box. So, but the big deal today, and the thing that I don't know what I'm going to get into when I open it, is I went to the post office and checked the Hello chip. I went to the post office and checked the P.O. box, and there was the yellow slip in there saying, hey, there's something that won't fit. And the only thing I was expecting was exactly what it was. Come on, Chip. Box from John, box from John, box from John. Normally, when I get boxes from my doll friends, Chip, I open them in the car in the parking lot of the post office, and I don't care if the people around me can hear the high-pitched squealing sounds I make when I look at the contents. But since I didn't have much to talk about today, I thought this would be a perfect thing to make the video about. Chip. So let's open it and see. Of course, John right now is in the process of moving, and he has not a lot of access to the internet, so I'm not sure when he will see this. He will, by then, probably already have gotten lots of gushing thank you posts and notes from me about whatever this is. And for now, it's just where we are is opening it. And I know that's why he went ahead and sent this, is because he's getting ready to move. He didn't want to move stuff that he was going to mail me anyway, so thanks for that. I see a lot of heads. I see a lot of heads. Wow. Okay, let's see. Yeah, this is the one that I thrifted, and I've already taken all the hair out to reroute that I know. I know this character is used in the most popular girls in school. I have not consumed any most popular girls in school myself. I've only seen it secondhand. So I know for a lot of people this is only most popular girls in school, but I think she has a very, very cute face. And it's interesting. She is similar yet different. I don't hate all open, toothy smile Barbie faces. I know some people do. They have their uses. If you get creative when you repaint them, you can make them, like I said, snarky doll is good doll. You can make them snarky. And we've got a Harry Potter. Aha! Chris was asking if we thought that a beard would improve the old Allen, was it 91? 1990 Allen / Ken head, which he referred to as the lumpy potato Ken head. And while this one is actually better than the modified version that had rooted hair, since thanks to John we have this, I guess I will be seeing if a beard can save this head too. Yes, he did say that he would send me this tall fashionista with the goddess sculpt because I know he's disappointed. I'm just checking for head glue. Feels like she has none. He was disappointed with the way her eye print looked, her eye paint. And yeah, I am too, but I will happily repaint and probably reroot this. I really like the goddess sculpt. For some reason, I seem to only ever customize it, repaint it, reroot it, whatever, and then pass it on to other people. I have not been able to hold on to it myself yet, but we'll see if I can do that with this one finally. Let's see. Action figure. Not Disney dude. What is he? Thumbelina? I'm sure you will have corrected me before I will have put a caption up with the correction on it. So he could be useful. He actually, the brother's 1998. Sorry, he reminds me of Metalocalypse guys. Dennis Miller. I see something fantastic at the bottom, but I'm holding off on getting to that. Some heads he's experimented with dyeing. Grace and Desiree, or Billy and Desiree. Doesn't have the, now we know to look for the stuff inside the eyes. So that could be what goes on the body that was formerly used by Lady Glowy Skull. We'll see if I don't drop everything. Oh, speaking of, oh no, that's not it, never mind. I thought this was the head. They're obviously Fairytopia, so I can have another aqua-haired Fairytopia girl. Honestly, I have been saving a lot of my articulated bodies or my doll bodies generally, because I knew John was going to send me a box of stuff. I just didn't know it'd be this much stuff. I don't think I'm going to have enough for all of these, but I will make it work. Like a lot of people, I'm not a huge fan of this head sculpt, but I actually don't have one, and now I have this one, I can experiment with her. And yes, Made to Move, we all have a lot of those. And another Grace, no, this is the modified, or Grace, I guess not Mbili, she's Grace, I guess. She has this, Mbili, apparently the curve of her eyes was just a little bit too much, so they actually modified the mold so there's like blobs inside the eye, flattening them out a bit. So that's the difference. That's why Mbili has a 2001 copyright, while this head has a 2011. It's because of that change. I always liked the Ashif sculpt. I think she was the first one of the Shawnee and Friends I got. So I don't mind having another Made to Move, another. And another Mycene Madison. Seems like all the Mycenes I have are Madison. She's great. And this is one of those celebrity friend dolls by Not Mattel. I cannot quite think of who it is because they all blend together. I'm sure either I will look it up and figure it out and put a caption on, or you will have corrected me in the comments. And a no eyelash M&C version of Betty Teen. which, since she is the M&C Betty Teen and not a full-blown, all-out Betty Teen that I found in the thrift store, I will keep this one around and experiment with it, probably. Oh, this, Lillian? I'm blanking. I should know who she is. Thank you, John. I've always liked this sculpt. She will probably be on a body or maybe on the window getting destained before the day is done. Lillian. She's a Chinese doll. And then another bag. We have... Oh! He did Makoto Takahashi style eyes on a Steffi sculpt. Fantastic. I am not good enough to paint this style. I've seen no nap time people do sculpts this style of old shoujo eyes. I'm not good enough to do that, so I really appreciate that. Oh! A lovely repaint, and the hair's down. I have not put the hair down on my Made to Move Asha head yet. But here's a really, really nice repaint of her. Of course, all of these will be on my Flickr. So if they don't show up very well here, they will be there. Another of the Sharpay sculpts, again modified summer. The nose is slightly longer, which I think it just gives her more character than the summer sculpt. And this one has really great eyes. Although right now, she is cute, but she looks like the next First Lady. And I can't have a doll that looks like that. And we've got Shoujo Guy. Fantastic. I don't know if I have a body for him. I'll have to work on that. And oh, he's fantastic. I love all of John's freckled guys. I have a couple different heads that John has repainted over the years, and I have always loved, when he first appeared, I used to have a doll message board called Idolism back in the Yuku days. Back in the message board days in general, and he first appeared, he was like 14 or 15, and I loved his painting style then, and he has only gotten amazingly better. So that is fantastic. And another Grace. And there's more! Oh yeah, here's the lumpy potato. This one will definitely, let's see if I can find just the regular old. It's like they took the life out of this sculpt to make it into this sculpt. Yeah, they're similar, but lumpy potato. Yeah, I'll definitely be seeing how he looks with beard and maybe some sculpted hair or something else with his hair. And we have oh, this is the Lady Lovely blocks on a shampoo bottle, I believe, that he found. So it's not exactly Lady Lovely locks. So it's not exactly... She looks a lot like, just at a glance. I mean, there's a similarity to the Betty Teen sculpt. It's not exact, but like I said, I don't need dolls to be sisters, but I end up like I'm going to have a lot of sister dolls. And I don't know what this is, but it is fantastic. It's a Hong Kong clone from the Gem era with a pastel mullet. Now, get good pictures of this because I'm sure this is somebody's aesthetic. She's great, just the way she is. Oh, the is it Dermot Mulroney head from Enchanted. So that should be interesting. Celebrity sculpts. You know me and celebrity sculpts. They're yes and no. Teresa. 1990s Teresa. I have one of these in my head bin that I haven't known what to do with, but she just has the brown hair. The blonde hair Teresas, there weren't a lot of them, and they always stood out as being different. So that. Is a, I think this is one of the Cali Girl Teresas before they introduced the new Teresa sculpt. It's just, I mean, I know there's no paint on this sculpt, but painting on this sculpt could change it to look so many different ways. It is a very versatile sculpt. I haven't repainted one. I think the last one of these I repainted, I had painted the whole doll blue, so I wasn't really able to get a, not that I do subtle paint jobs, but for me I wasn't really able to get a refined paint job because painting on top of paint, you have one shot. Painting on top of vinyl, I will scrape paint off. I will just take acetone to it and remove it wholesale. Can't do that with painting on paint because then you have to repaint the base paint. So this is not a full-blown wine and dollies video because I do not drink alcohol. And but I've got water and dollies. Alright. Another nice Mackie sculpt. We've had the discussion, Mackie, when we were, younger, years and years ago, in the 90s, Mackie was fantastic because it had been, 20 years of superstar. And then to get Mackie in Playline was just so amazing, but then we kind of got oversaturated on it. But then they brought out Generation Girl, and after, another 15 years, I at least start to like the Mackie face again. I've got this green Mackie and that green Mackie, and I did my Fallout Barbie with Mackie, and I'm giving Mackie sculpts another chance. So that's it for the heads. Now there's the whole customized dolls. We have a lovely Twyla. I have most of a Twyla that I thrifted. She does not have her lower arms, and I haven't done anything with her because of the lack of arms. But that's fine now because we have this adorable John Custom. And another Howleen. Again, I do have a Howleen. She was my example. She has different hair. My Howleen has the curly hair, and I painted her eyes over to be all brown with no sclera showing because that's how dogs' eyes are. So now I have this really adorable, soft, sweet John Custom of Howleen. And then the last one is his Cherry Studio Killers Cherry Custom with the amazing new body mods and the iconic cherry face paint. I admit I don't know much about Studio Killers besides what I have picked up from posts from people online. They seem to be a little bit too romantic for me, and I know from what I have gathered from their work, it's a, I won't say cynical romance, but I like songs, I like weird songs, I'll just leave it there. Romance songs aren't my thing, but this custom is fantastic. Even not knowing anything about Studio Killers, I know that aesthetic is fantastic. And so we come to the end of the video. I am overwhelmed. John, thank you. once you're settled in, I will be finding more things to send to you. And that's it. Oh wait, no wait. I almost forgot. Since the last video, I've reached 100 subscribers. So I want to thank you very much. Thank all of you. This is a surprise to me. Thanks!